Hi there, I'm Darren Miguez. I'm the director here at the Plainsboro Free Public Library. I was hired in 2015 by then director Carol Quick. I was hired as youth services department head, so I oversaw children's events, children's collections, the children's floor, and also teen services for folks, high school and middle school and so forth. I started off the teen advisory board, which has been really impactful and gives us a lot of feedback on what teens want in the community. And also pushed with more events in our science center. So we do a lot of STEM programming. I began our 3D printing classes and also our 3D printing service for the public. So folks can send in a model they want printed and have an object made, usually by the next day, depending on how complex it is. So, doing a lot of STEM, a lot of children, a lot of teens, and just a lot of serving the public, which is really what I'm here for. One thing I noticed is that the community overall, but in particular parents and children, were very interested in STEM programming. And many folks in the schools and the curriculum were leaning in that direction. So we decided to really kick up our science center's offerings a notch. We had done regular programs there, but sometimes during the day it would just be kind of like an empty room we would use for study overflow, like people looking for study space. I really wanted to make that kind of a gem for this library, since it's a resource many libraries don't have. So we decided to get into 3D printing, which had kind of begun to take off. And now we offer classes in it regularly, and we offer a 3D printing service, as I mentioned previously. Besides that, looking at the wider makerspace idea, I've always been of the mind that making things isn't necessarily a technological skill set. It can also be a practical skill set. So we began planting vegetables on our balcony gardens, and as part of a healthy living series in partnership with the township for a while, we were doing how to cook for yourself, how to grow plants at home and things like that, which was, I think, a different way to approach the makerspace idea in a way that, helps you out, addresses your health, and addresses self-sufficiency, right? Giving teenagers and children other options besides, I'm going to go grab some, snacks or fried potato chips or what have you. And let folks know that, you can make a smoothie very easily. You want to study and not have like a sugar spike and a crash? Here's how to do it. Eat these kinds of foods, make this kind of snack, and so forth. So we were trying to just empower folks through the Science Center and this makerspace approach to be more self-sufficient, tinker, try things out, and experiment. And really that's what the library's all about, is connecting people to knowledge and skills. We took the pandemic very seriously. So in the initial early days of the lockdown, we were doing what we could from home. Engaging the public, we were making supplies with our 3D printers from home for first responders. So many a night I would wake up to start a new print for ear protectors and so forth for Middlesex County folks in the rescue services or police departments. When we got back into the building, we were still close to the public for the most part. We had some browsing hours, but in the early days of the pandemic, folks didn't know what exactly was going on. We decided to try and take advantage of that, having the staff in the building, but the public having limited access to do some very, very big projects. We added a UV filtering system to our AC, so it is currently primed to basically treat the air with UV, ultraviolet light, and get rid of any kind of bacteriological contamination in the air. We also, the biggest project, we tagged every single book in the library with an RFID chip, a radio frequency ID chip. And that lets us do self-checkout, which is totally contact-free. So folks who did not want to engage with staff, wanted to keep away from their folks, could check out the books at one of our self-check kiosks. It scans a whole stack of books in one shot, thanks to this RFID technology, and you're off to the rest of your day. So it speeds things up for the patron looking for items to check out, and also if you don't want to engage with somebody because of COVID concerns, you're safe and clear on that front. In terms of programs, we've moved to a lot of virtual programming. And over the summer, we engaged in outdoor programming once outdoor activity was deemed safe by the CDC. We do require inside the building currently CDC-approved masks. And in the fall and winter, as things get colder, we're going to see more in-person programs with masks and socially distant. We'll be running our programs at basically half of our room capacity going forward. But we do look forward to folks being in the building again and engaging in our events, programs, and classes. When possible, we'll be offering those on a hybrid model, so you can still tune in online or come into the building and engage that way. I'm looking forward to a lot of great things in the library going forward. The big project for 2022 is going to be the YES project, the Youth Engagement Services project, which will re-envision the third floor as a destination space for children and teens ages 0 through 18 and their parents. It adapts the third floor to the needs and usage patterns we've seen over the last decade of the library being open in this building, and really serves folks the way they want to be served and lets them engage with our space the way they've wanted to. Study space, outdoor space, space for, in our science center for tinkering and makerspace activities will all be provided for, and also just always open activity rooms for parents and children to socialize and get together in. I think it'll be a really exciting new approach for the third floor. So I'm really looking forward to the youth engagement services coming online in 2022. As far as the wider community, I think one of the issues we're looking at is coming out of the pandemic, how do we re-engage with folks? And I think librarians typically embrace a passive role. We wait for you to ask us a question. We wait for you to ask for a book, and we connect you with that book. We're happy to do it. But what we don't do is we don't get out there and ask you, what do you need? What are you trying to do? How can we help you succeed? So one of the big initiatives on getting the library supervisors and librarians on board with is what we're calling Connect to Community. It's an active librarianship approach. We're going to be looking for groups we can embed ourselves in. We can attend your meetings if you have meetings. We can frequent your Zoom calls if you have Zoom calls, and just listen to you. We may ask pointed questions. We may take your minutes for you if you need a secretary, because that'll help us and help you. But we really want to learn what folks are doing in this community and how we can facilitate that. After a few interactions like that, we anticipate we'll come back to you with some resources we can offer you. A little trifold perhaps on things that we can do in terms of like notary service, test proctoring, databases we have on offer, streaming services we have that might be of use to you, like the great courses and things like that, which you can get all free with a library card. There's a lot of things out there folks don't know about. Instead of assuming you're going to find them on our website, we're going to come to you, listen to what you need, and show you what we've got that can help you out. So if you're in a community out there, a group, a homeschooler pod, a robotics team, a small business startup, get in contact with me, and we will hook you up with a librarian ambassador to come out and be part of your group and learn about what your needs are. And what I hope is the knock-on effect of that is as we learn about all these groups in town, we see connections we can make. And we can find two groups who maybe are struggling to afford like an event space. Maybe together, if they're on the same page, maybe together they could afford that. Maybe our space can be used for these two groups if they need it. We're hoping we can basically be the connective tissue in terms of informational knowledge of the community and not just information in books, right? So that's my big push, is to basically be a sponge for community information and make those connections we see that will help folks reach their goals. A decade ago, I used to be the director of the Old Bridge Public Library. And one thing that vexed me was I would look at all of the circulation of books, movies, etc., across all the libraries in Middlesex County. And at the time, Old Bridge had about 65,000 people. And there was another library, 1/3 our size in population, about 22,000, that would always beat our circulation. And I was like, what is going on at Plainsboro Library? And then I came here and saw the library and saw the community and realized, okay, they're big readers, they're big on knowledge, they're big on curiosity. The township has really supported their library financially and with a great space, right? So they believe what the library does for the community. It binds folks together, it knits together, all these different pockets of a town into one Plainsboro. So it was obvious when I came here, like, okay, this is the secret sauce here in Plainsboro, is knowledge, curiosity, academics, and an embrace of the library as a resource of the community. You also see that at events like Founders Day, traditions, and so forth. The town really wants everyone to be part of one community and not a bunch of separate areas that kind of just happen to coexist next to each other. And I think the library facilitating that is a great thing that excites me personally. I want to be that connective tissue, as I mentioned earlier, and the commons for folks to come and share ideas, share their cultures, share their stories, share their challenges, share their needs, and we can help serve those as we can. Well, one thing I'll say is we're open. We're back to our full hours. So if you're out there and you drive by the library, come on in. Say hi, ask me by name. I'll be happy to meet you. I'm looking to meet more folks in the community. Additionally, we're looking for groups out there that we can be a part of and listen to, as I mentioned earlier. So let me know if you want to have a library ambassador come to you and see how we can better serve your needs, right? We're also looking at getting off the ground and doing our big events, like our summer programs, getting back to egg drop and so forth, engaging folks in our makerspace. We've got a lot going on. The YES project will be a big lift this year, which I'm hoping the community will get behind. And after it's done, I think it'll really be exciting to see where the library goes after that. We're also looking at other changes on other floors. So we're not looking at just strictly children and parents. We're also looking to help out seniors in our community and also adults. We'll be making some changes on the first and second floors, I think, probably late 2022. That I think will be very impactful in serving the public and making the library an even more inviting place. So stay tuned, and I look forward to working with everybody in the community.